Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, whilst I can't wait to help you close this obvious gap that exists between what retail or amateur traders are doing and what institutions are doing, I intentionally wanted to sandwich this very short video in just before we start to really increase the pace and move you towards doing the right things in your trading. Now, the last thing I said in the previous video, my exact words were, you are going to see the exact process banks and institutions put their traders through, but better than that, it is exactly what you are going to be going through with me as we progress. What better time then than to spend no more than a few minutes just talking you through my own journey through the financial system. I want to do this for a couple of reasons. A, it will give you an insight into the sort of process a junior trader goes through when entering a big bank or institution, but much more importantly, you will also see not only why this information gap exists, but why it is perfectly normal. Because I'm sure you might be wondering, why is this information not more widely available? Why am I constantly being shown things that make no sense, that lack the most basic elements I now realize I'm completely missing? You will understand the answers to all of those questions in just a few minutes after learning about my own journey. And anyway, it will be really interesting for you given it's a similar journey we're going to be going on together. Now, I was born in 1982 in London, United Kingdom. Both my parents are of Indian descent. My dad was actually kicked out of Uganda in 1972. Indians were given just 90 days notice to leave the country by the dictator there. So my dad came to the United Kingdom with maybe £2 or £3 in his pocket. That's about $5 he had in his pocket when he came. My point is, I was very lucky that whilst my family didn't have much money when I was growing up, my dad put a heavy focus on education, probably wanting me to have what he didn't. Now, a lot of this is irrelevant. I'm not even going to bother putting it in this small table I'm making for you. However, the reason I'm telling you all of this is because I was very lucky that my parents pushed me to excel in education. I managed by some miracle to get a first-class degree in financial engineering at business school in London by the time I was just 21 years old. You can now see why I'm telling you all of this, because this is where my financial markets career really began. Having a first-class degree in a subject related to financial markets allowed me to join the sales and trading graduate program at Barclays Investment Bank. They not only have one of the biggest trading floors in the world, but also make many billions of pounds or dollars every year running it. Now, after finishing the graduate program at Barclays, I went on to spend over 6 years there across various trading desks covering foreign exchange, credit, and interest rate markets. I then went on to work for a variety of boutique trading firms in both London and New York, trading firm capital for over a decade. More recently, as you probably know, I now trade on a daily basis, fully privately from home, and also run my trading education business, which I'm very excited to have you a part of. However, even when I'm building this program, I'm still trading every day. Trading is my living, it pays my bills, and as you can see, it's all I've ever done. The point I want you to realize, and the reason I'm even telling you all of this, is that whilst you may not like to hear this, it's a fact. Look at the journey I had to go through to learn how to trade properly through a large bank or institution. You have one shot to get onto a trading desk in a place like an investment bank. You need an exemplary educational background from a very young age. And even that's not enough, because you're competing against maybe 10 or 20,000 other applicants to get onto one of these institutional trading programs. And typically each bank will only take 20 to 30 people a year, and that's globally. Even once you're in, you then have to spend several years working on the desk before you get really good at this. My point is, can you see how difficult it is to break into the trading business if you want to do it properly and learn from the best? Can you now see why such a huge information gap exists between what amateur or retail traders are doing and what institutional traders are doing? Just compare what I had to go through as a professional trader to what a typical retail trader does to get into trading. Now, I promise you, This has nothing to do with making me look good, and in no way is this me saying, look how special I am. In fact, it's the opposite. You've already bought the program. I have nothing to convince you of. I am telling you this purely to help you understand why the information gap exists, so you see the massive differences in the two journeys for yourself, and you think to yourself, oh, okay, I now see why it makes sense that there's such a big information gap. It's because the material I've been shown so far, the people who are showing me that, they haven't even actually gone through a proper process like the one on the left. They don't actually know what they're doing. That is why they're looking at only a small piece of the information. Envy is right. I need to start taking this a little more seriously if I want to make a career out of this. Now look, I don't want to scare anyone. You don't need to go through a multi-year process like I did. That is why you're paying for this program and my help. So I can completely cut this process down for you. In fact, I'll have you set up within 2 days. And then if you wish to take it further, get you fairly proficient within a few weeks. However, that can only happen because I've gone through the process myself on the left. I know what I'm doing, and everything I've shown you so far and going forward is based on that 20-year journey on the left. And yes, on occasions, I can be a little harsh about what retail traders are doing, but just look at the difference in the two journeys. The next time you watch a video of someone showing you something about trading, ask yourself, what have they actually done that qualifies them to show you what they are showing? Probably not very much. That is why, can you see, most retail traders look at what I showed you before, the price alone. Institutional traders on the left, however, they know what they're doing. They've been through this type of process on the left, but they are looking at the correct things. Things that you are going to be learning, the full picture. The irony in all of this is it doesn't even take a rocket scientist to realize you can't trade without the additional info I've already started to discuss with you. You came to that conclusion yourself on your piece of paper. That is why I had you write it down. So anyway, I think now it's pretty clear. A, why such a big gap exists, and B, that it needs to be closed. So we're going to move on, but hopefully you agree. This video was necessary just to remove any kind of remaining questions you had in your mind about why is it so different what I've previously been shown compared to what I'm now being told to do. Now you know. Two completely different journeys, in fact, different worlds. The great thing is you're now pushing yourself in the right direction, which is something for you to be really proud of. So let's now crack on, really dig deep into some of the additional information we've already started to discuss, and then get you set up so you can start implementing some of it into your trading. See you in the next video.